something like process models. So these process models are majorly used for developing any kind of a software. So what are those models? And we are learning about them. The first model we have visited or we have learned in the last class, that is waterfall model. I think it started in the last class. So waterfall model is basically a traditional model or a classical model or a linear sequential model, we say. We are saying it as linear sequential model or traditional model or classical model because it is the first model which has been developed or proposed. First model which is proposed for developing any kind of a software. So it includes several stages and phases. So according to waterfall model, any phase which is part of this waterfall model can start only when the previous stage has its functionality, completed its functionality. So any phase in a waterfall model can start after completion of the previous stage. So what are the phases which are available in the waterfall model? So there are several phases which are available in the waterfall model. First comes the requirement analysis, system design, implementation of the design, testing of the implementation, deployment of testing, implementation, design, as well as requirement analysis, and the maintenance. So what happens here is, whenever requirements of the projects have been completely known, if the requirements or the requirements of a project or any software is completely known, they must be freezed initially. They must be freezed initially under waterfall model. Freezing of requirements is nothing but we are fixing the requirements. We are not supposed to change these requirements until the completion of total software project. The requirements must be the same. There is no change will be involving while developing the software. So that is what happens with the waterfall model. Initially, the requirements must be completely freezed so that they cannot be changed during the development of the project. So as I said in the previous slide, any phase in a waterfall model will begin after the completion of the previous phases. Let us say that here the second phase which is available in the waterfall model is system design. So what are the inputs of this phase? So system design gets the inputs from the requirements phase. In which form does the system design get the inputs? Can anybody say? In which format the requirements are given as input to the system design? So every phase will be documented according to the waterfall model. It means whatever requirements have been proposed by the customer to the developer, they will be recorded and documented, and they have been fixed, and they will be supplied as the inputs to the system designing. In the design phase, the developer will be looking after three aspects. What are those three aspects? In the previous class, we have discussed the three aspects. They are architecture, high-level designs, and detailed designs. These are the three aspects as part of waterfall model. the second phase contains. So system design will be looking after all the issues regarding the architecture of the software, how it can be developed. So next phase which is available in the waterfall model is implementation phase. It is nothing but coding phase. So what happens here? Now coding phase will be receiving inputs from the system design which already contains the inputs of requirements. So according to the design, the coding will be done or the implementation will be done according to the waterfall model. Next, testing is an aspect where individual testing will be done. Unit testing will be done. A small module, let us say that for developing any kind of a software, they will be divided into several modules. So each module contains a specific purpose in the development. Every module contains a specific purpose in the development. So by integrating all these modules only, the software will be delivered to the customer. So every module is individually tested. Let us say that a sample application is containing about 5 modules. So each module will be separately tested, and after that this individual testing is completed as part of the coding phase and testing phase. Now what happens here is we need to deliver a complete product, not the individual modules, yes or no? We are developing a complete product to the customer. We are not delivering a individual module product. So what happens here is when you are developing a particular application, every module has to be tested, and again they have to be integrated, individually tested, and again they will be integrated, and again they will be performing the testing. So that kind of a testing is called as an integration testing. Individual testing is nothing but unit testing of individual modules. As I said, as a sample application, it contains 5 modules, so 5 unit testings will be done. As we are supposed to give a complete product, so what happens here is all these 5 modules have been integrated into one unit. Then again a testing will be performed. That testing will be integration testing. So this is about the testing phase, which is part of the waterfall model. Now comes deployment. Deployment is nothing but giving a product onto a system. That is actually system testing will be done. After testing, there will be testing and system testing will be there. System testing is nothing but whether the application is suitable for the system or not. That will happen in the system testing. So deployment is nothing but installing your application in the customer's PCs or laptops or the developer's PCs, whether it works fine or not. The deployment is nothing but practical usage of the application. Next, the last phase which comes here is maintenance. So once the product has been deployed at the customer end, then the maintenance will be starting. Once the product has been delivered to the customer, then this phase will be initiated. So these are the several phases which are part of the waterfall model. Why it is called as waterfall model? You observe here, if let us say that these are different levels of a mountain, let us assume that these are the different levels of a mountains. The water is flowing from the top mountain to the bottom mountain, and you observe that from the first mountain to the second mountain, the water is flowing here. But from the second mountain to the first mountain, it cannot be going back. So if there is any problem, let us say that system design has a problem. So it cannot go back. It cannot go back to the requirement phase once again directly. It means that it will not revolve around this point. It will be going further. It will not go up. So if there is any problem in the implementation, it will be coming from the starting position again. So at the system design, there is no problem. It can go back until we reach the requirements. But implementation and system design, it cannot revolve here. So this is what happens in the waterfall model. And about the different phases in the waterfall model. Now this is about the detailed diagram of the waterfall model. First of all, we will be checking whether the system is feasible or not. Whatever application we are developing, whether it is feasible for the customer or not, we will be checking that one. Then a report will be generated that is called as a feasibility report. Based on that feasibility report, the requirements will be gathered according to the customer and the planning will be done for the design. Then this validation will be done. The requirements are well and good. Then a document will be prepared based on this requirement analysis. Then that document will be applied to the system design phase. Then system design will be looking after all the design aspects. Then they will be verified and the document is generated, and the document is called as a system design document and will be taken by the detailed design. Detailed design is nothing but the minute details, the coding phase. Before coding, it will be starting. So what are the requirements that will be detailed in the document? So that will be supplied as the input to the coding phase. And after that, the coding phase, verification, the programs will be supplied for the testing phase. Here you can observe here, testing and integration will be done. Testing as part of the unit wise, integration as part of the module wise. As a whole, we will be testing as integration. Now after that, testing and integration, we will be generating different types of test plans and reports that will be supplied as inputs to the installation. After this phase, the installation of the application will be done at the customer end. And after that, a report will be generated and that report will be maintained so that further any verifications can be done in future. Next, these are several aspects which we have discussed that are pointed here. Each phase should have some output. They are called as work products. Every output must be validated and certified. And common output of waterfall models are, after requirements phase, we will be generating SRS document. After requirements phase, that is SRS will be given to the design phase. The outcome of the design phase is design documents and project plans. And after that, it will be given to the coding. And after that, testing plan, reports, and a final code will be supplied to it. So these are the basic things which will happen in the waterfall model. So the advantage of waterfall model is nothing but it is a basic one. It is an older model which has been developed by several companies as they're developing softwares. So it is easy one and it can be taken as a template also. So waterfall model can be taken as a template, the basic template based on which different types of model can be adding some features of it. Next, the disadvantages of waterfall model. So what happens here is, as I said, the requirements will be freezed. If they are freezed, let us say that I am the developer of an application and you are the customer, let us say that. So you need an application within 6 months. So you will be giving the inputs to me saying that these are the things which I want in our application. So what happens here is, whatever requirements you have been proposed, they will be taken as input and they will be freezed and they will be if they are validated, then they are correct and good, then we will be starting. I will start the project. So let us say that in the first month there is no need of any change in the requirements. So after 1 month, what happens here? In the second month, the customer will come with some changes which are required for their application. Now what happens here is, I will say it is not possible, sir, because I am following a waterfall model. The requirements cannot be implemented easily. So it is not possible to do or take the requirements once again. So this is what happens with the waterfall model. If the initial requirements have been fixed, then there will be a lot of a problem for the changing environments. So next thing, Big Bang approach. Big Bang approach is nothing but, all at once. Let us say that you have visited, you are a customer and I am a developer. You initiated, you require one application software. So you gave a task to me and and you left for me for 6 months. Let us say that you gave me 6 months, I will be giving you product. So customer thinking that I will get a product until I receive it, what I require. So customer feel that whatever I told to the developer, I will get the same product. So he will be thinking something like that, but he will not sure that what kind of a project he will receive until he receives the outcome of the developing. So what happens here is, if he sees the outcome of that is delivering a product all at once is too risky. That is what happens with the waterfall model, because there is no changes are applied to it. First, initial requirements have been gathered and they have been freezed. Based upon those, the design, coding, testing, all the things have been done. So what happens here is, and the output will be given to the customer as a whole after completion of the time period. That is, after 6 months, he will be delivering it to it. So what happens if there is any problem? If there is any problem, he can contact, but it is too risky to give the product after completing all the phases without consulting the customer in between. So, and one more disadvantage of the waterfall model is a documented oriented. Documented oriented. What do you mean by this documented oriented? Documented oriented means every phase requires one document to be used as an input for every phase. That is what it is, one kind of a documentation. So what happens here is, it is a time consuming as part of the waterfall model. If one person is keep on doing the required documentation rather than implementation, it is too much time taking process. So it is one of the disadvantage also. Now, where it is suitable, where waterfall models are useful. So they are useful when requirements are easily understood and the technology decisions are very fixed. Then this type of a model is used. And one more thing, it can be used widely because it is a basic model. It can be used as a template for any other models also. So you can go through several projects which have been following this waterfall model. You can come across any kind of a project with this models also. Next important model is prototyping model. So as I discussed, waterfall model has a disadvantage of fixing the requirements before the start of design. Every requirement has been freezed. So that will be addressed by the prototyping model. So prototype is nothing but one kind of a blueprint which will be created by the developer based on the interaction with the customer, what he has been suggested. So prototyping is one kind of a thing where we can say that first the requirements or regular interaction will be done in this type of a model. with the customer. So first initial step is you will be interacting with the, if you are a developer, you will be interacting with the customer and you are listening to the customer. But here developer must be a very good listener here. If he is not listening carefully about the requirements of the customer, then there will be a problem here. So according to the prototyping model, the customer will be giving inputs in the form of requirements for developing an application to the developer. Now developer responsibility is he has to develop a sample prototype. Sample prototype is nothing but a blueprint, the pictorial or some kind of a sample, non-working model or some kind of a model, initial model he has to develop. And after developing that initial model, he has to show to the customer saying that, sir, this is what I understood from your conversation. So please check it. So what the customer will do? The customer will be seeing this model. If he agrees that this is what he intended for, then the developer will be starting the application development. Let us say that the customer is not satisfied what he seen as a model, working model, that is a blueprint. If he is not satisfied with the blueprint, what happens again? The developer will be making a conversation with the customer saying that, sir, what exactly you need? So what happens here is there is a regular conversation will be done between the customer and the developer so that he can understand the requirements properly. And based on that communication between the customer and the developer, a blueprint will be designed until the customer is satisfied. So after that, based on the discussions made by the developer and the customer, a blueprint will be built and that will be validated by the customer. That is, if the customer is satisfied, then the further progress will be done by following the other steps. They are design, as we know, design, coding and testing. Design, coding and testing. So here what is happening here is we have been making this box which contains requirements, design, coding, testing, because we are keep on talking to the customer until the customer is satisfied. After the customer is satisfied, then we'll be gathering all the requirements, then it will be designed, coded and tested. This is about prototyping model. So development of prototype starts with the initial requirements. And here you have to understand one thing, the key features will be included. The key features which need better understanding are included in the prototype rather than the things which have been understood already. Try to understand these points. It means whatever the requirements which have been given by the customer in the prototyping model, if they are well understood, don't concentrate on those things. Because if you understood already, why you are concentrating on those things? So concentrate on the things which needs clarification from the customer. And go back on you take the feedback from the customers. That is what happens in the prototype. The feedback from users taken to improve the understanding of the requirements. So that is what happening in the prototype. Next, and one more thing, with this prototyping approach, the cost may increase, the quality may not be very clear because we are compromising on the customer satisfaction, yes or no? See, customer satisfaction has to be given most priority as part of development of a software. And one more thing, prototyping model can be used for developing applications very fastly. When you are developing an application very fast, you may be you are not sure about the quality. What are the quality of it? The cost may be high, the quality may not be much according to the requirement, but the customer needs the application to be developed in a fast manner. Next, the advantages of the prototyping model. Here we discuss about What is the drawback of the waterfall model? That will be addressed here. The first one, requirements will be more stable and more likely to be satisfying the user needs. So what happens here is the performance issues will be also explored earlier, not at the after the stages of the requirements. And one more thing, important thing, that is modification, ability to modify or cancel project early. Because if the user is satisfied, then we can continue with the project. If he is not satisfied with the working model, then the project will be destroyed at that instance itself. There is no compromise on the satisfaction of the customer. So what happens here is, one more advantage is enhanced user engagement. That is, you are involving the customer more rather than the developing stage, because customer needs the product according to his wish. And one more thing, disadvantage of the prototyping model is it may cost more and it may take time also, because we are giving more priority to the customer. Because at the first month, let us say that your customer needs an application within 6 months, but according to the interaction with the customer, keep on interacting with the customer, then what happens here is the 6 months may go to 1 year also. Until the customer satisfies, we are keep on talking to him. So the cost may rise and also the schedule may be fluctuating. And the security of the prototype does not focus on the key issues, because there are a lot of key issues in developing an application, but we are not concentrating on those things. We are concentrating on the things which needs clarification from the customer. Now, where we can use this prototyping model? The overall prototyping model is well suited for the projects where requirements are hard to determine and the confidence in the standard stated requirements is low. So what do you mean by this? As I told you, prototyping model will be concentrating on the things which are not well understood by the developer, which are not clear. That should be addressed rather than the things which have been understood by the developer. And it is also used for reducing the risk associated with the projects also. So these are the basic two models which have been discussed right now. Okay, let me stop this share. Okay, I think everyone got some idea about what is waterfall model and what is prototype model and why these models have been used and what is the purpose of these models and what are the different phases of these models. So what happens with waterfall model and what happens with the prototyping model, how the customer will be interacting with the models. So what is the participation of the customer in developing a software, and what happens if you are not going according to the customer, and what happens when you approach the customer according to the customer, what kind of a product will be delivered. So basically these are the two things, two models. In the next class we are going to discuss some more models, that is iterative model or incremental model, and you have a RUP model, and after that time boxing model. So let me brief you once again what exactly these two models have most common differences. So the differences between the waterfall model and the prototyping model, if you compare them, first initial thing is requirements. In the waterfall model, the requirements are fixed. In the prototype model, requirements are not fixed. In the waterfall model, after every phase completion, we will be following the next phase. But prototype, there is nothing kind of a thing. It can be followed when it has been finished with the requirements or during the requirements based on the document. Here it is not concentrating on the document also. Prototyping model is not concentrating on the documents. Waterfall model is concentrating on the documents because it is one kind of a proof where the products can go. If a product goes wrong, it is a proof of checking that where the project has went wrong. By checking the document only, the waterfall model is proceeded. Whereas in prototype, it is more concentrating on the customer aspects of you. Until the customer is satisfied, the blueprint is printed. Based on that, the design will be done, coding will be done, testing will be done. And every prototype will be given. So every type, a prototype. I will give an example in terms of programming language. Prototype is nothing but a signature of a function. It is nothing but add is a function which is requiring two inputs and one return type will be there. It does not have a definition. Something like that, it will be printed here. So a project will be there. It contains one product, inputs will be given to that one. Based on the inputs, the project will be developed. That is a part of the prototype. Prototypes, it is a collection of prototypes, as we say. So in the next class, we are going to see the other models, that is increment or iterative, and time boxing, the other things. Good afternoon once again. Thank you one and all.
Thank you, sir.